If you do not put to death your fleshly lusts, you will be destroyed. If you do not say no to your fleshly appetites, cravings and desires, you will be destroyed. It doesn't matter what else you do in Christianity. If you do not say no to what your flesh wants, you are on your way to hell. It doesn't matter how much you go to church. It doesn't matter how well you preach. It doesn't matter how well you prophesy. It doesn't matter how much of the Bible you know. If you're not reining in your fleshly urges, if you're not putting an end to those things that gratify your flesh, you are on your way to hell. You cannot live just the way your flesh feels like living and expect to get to heaven. You are going to have to say no to what your flesh feels like thinking, what your flesh feels like saying, and what your flesh feels like doing. Otherwise, you are going to suffer for all eternity. How often do you witness to others? It won't save you if you're an adulterer. How often do you speak in tongues? It won't save you if you are one who covets. How often do you praise and worship the Lord? It won't save you if you are a thief. How much do you give to support the Lord's work? It won't save you if you're a drunkard. Christianity is about saving your soul. Why call yourself a Christian and remain unsaved? Because you won't reign in your flesh. Because you won't crucify your flesh. There is a pleasure in sin. There is a pleasure in sinning. But if you want to make heaven, you are going to have to say no to the pleasure of sin. You are going to have to do without sin, while others do not do without sin, while they enjoy sin. But the one who suffers now by denying themselves sin will not suffer in the life to come. But the one who refuses to suffer now because they enjoy sin, how great their suffering will be. The suffering that is coming to those who refuse to suffer now. The suffering that is coming to those who refuse to deny sin. Now, the terror that awaits, the terror that is without escape. And what for, church? What for? Because of the temporal pleasure of the sins of the flesh, because of the temporal pleasure of adultery, because of the temporal pleasure of fornication, because of the temporal pleasure of drunkenness. There is a pain, church. There is a pain. There is a pain when you live a life of not giving in to your fleshly urges. But endure that pain. Endure it. Power is given to do so. The nature of Christ helps you to do so. Endure the pain of saying no to the cravings of the flesh. Say no. You are without excuse, for power is given to do so. Power is given to get through temptation. Power is given to get through temptation. Power is given to get through temptation. Deny yourself the pleasure of sin, and how great your eternity will be. You will miss out on the lake of fire. You will abide with God. You will abide with the saints. You will reign. You will reign forevermore, rather. You will be exalted. You will be exalted. Now, commit yourself to endure the pain of saying no to sin. Commit yourself now to saying no to the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. It doesn't matter how much grace you claim. It doesn't matter how much faith you claim. It doesn't matter how spiritual your reputation is here on earth. You are on your way to the lake of fire if you refuse to say no to your fleshly lusts. So start saying no to what the flesh wants by saying yes to what the Holy Spirit wants. Start saying no to what the flesh wants by saying yes to what the Holy Spirit wants. For the cost is great in refusing to do so. The cost is the price of your very own soul. Your own soul in the lake of fire forever, because you would not say no to your fleshly lusts. Without escape forever. Church, if you do not put to death your fleshly lusts, you will be destroyed. You will be destroyed in the lake of fire without end. You will be destroyed in the lake of fire forever. And your suffering will not end. Don't let your flesh destroy you. Galatians 5:16 says, I say then, walk in the Spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Walk in the Spirit, walk in the Spirit, walk in the Spirit. Do not let your fleshly appetites, cravings, urges, and desires destroy you. Walk in the Spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Walk in the Spirit.